As Princess Ezenwa stepped forward, everyone expected him to walk toward Adaugo. She stood radiant beneath the sun, but the prince did not slow.
He walked past glitter, past the expectations of an entire kingdom, straight toward the quiet girl.
This is ridiculous! She is mute!
For the first time in her life, her lips parted.
Yet when the season comes, the seed chosen for greatness shall rise as it was written.
The world froze. Then the great seer stepped forward through the crowd.
I spoke these words long ago. Men will bow to what glitters and pass by what is true. Yet when the season comes, the seed chosen for greatness shall rise as it was written.
That night, Princess Ezenwa slept lightly. The sounds of the countryside slowly faded into a strange, unnatural stillness. Then the dream came. He stood alone beside a vast silver river. The water did not reflect the sky. Instead, it shimmered with countless tiny lights like stars drifting slowly through its currents. A wind moved across the surface, whispering in voices he almost understood. Soft, urgent, calling his name. Across the river, two figures appeared. The first emerged in a burst of golden light. She shone like the dawn breaking over the hills. Her laughter rang like crystal bells. Wherever she stepped, flowers bloomed beneath her feet. The prince felt warmth as he watched her, admiration, even wonder. Yet beneath the beauty, something felt incomplete, something hollow. The girl smiled brightly. She waved playfully, and then she vanished in a flash of light. Silence returned. Then the second figure appeared. She did not arrive with light. She arrived quietly. So quietly, he almost did not notice her at first. She moved like wind through tall grass, gentle, unseen, yet deeply felt. Her hair flowed like dark river water. Her eyes were calm, deep, steady. She said nothing, yet when she looked at him, her gaze pierced straight through his mind. And in that moment, Princess Ezenwa felt a certainty he could not explain. Around her, the world grew still. Even the stars above seemed to shift, aligning themselves into a path that led directly toward him. He tried to speak, but no sound left his lips. Yet, in the silence, he had her voice. Soft, rare, melodious, a voice unlike any he had ever known. The dream shifted. Princess Ezenwa now stood in a courtyard glowing with soft golden light. The air felt ancient and sacred, as though the place existed outside the flow of time. Standing nearby were his father and mother. They looked exactly as they did in the waking world, dignified and regal. Yet something was different. Neither of them raised their eyes. Both stood with their heads slightly lowered, as though an unseen presence commanded their silence. Princess Ezenwa followed their gaze. She stood before him, the quiet girl, the one from the river, the one from the road. Her presence was gentle, yet the entire courtyard seemed to bend around her like grass before the wind. His parents did not look at her. Perhaps they could not see her. Only he could. A strange certainty filled his chest. He stepped forward slowly. His heartbeat echoed in his ears. He did not know why he moved, yet something stronger than thought guided him. He reached toward her. For the first time, the girl spoke.
Yet when the season comes, the seed chosen for greatness shall rise as it was written.
And suddenly, the prince understood. Not the radiant child adored by the crowd, not the one praised for beauty and song, but the quiet girl, the one born in mourning, the one rooted where the earth remembers. She was the one. Meanwhile, preparations for the choosing ceremony swept across the land. Young women adorned themselves in their finest garments. Families spent fortunes on gowns and jewelry, each hoping their daughter would capture the attention of the prince. But Adaugo only laughed. She watched their efforts with amused superiority. Why were they trying so hard? The prince was already hers. Had the prophecy not said so? Had she not been the child born bright and loud with a voice like music? Even the queen had shown her favor. Soon, she believed, she would stand beside the prince as queen. At last, the day of the choosing ceremony arrived. The palace courtyard shimmered with color and splendor. Silks, satin, gold, jewels flashing beneath the sun. Young women moved gracefully through the gathering, laughter and whispers drifting through the air. Then Adaugo entered, and the crowd parted. Her gown sparkled brilliantly. Jewels chimed softly with every confident step. Her head was held high, her smile radiant. On the high dais, the queen watched with approval. "See how a true daughter of beauty carries herself," she murmured. But somewhere among the glittering crowd walked another figure, quiet, almost invisible, Ifunanya. Her gown was plain, her hair tied loosely behind her neck. She neither laughed nor sought attention. She simply walked calmly forward, observing everything. At the center of the courtyard stood Prince Ezenwa. When his eyes found her, something deep inside him stirred with undeniable force. The pull he had felt since entering the countryside returned stronger than ever. He had met many women, beautiful women, educated women, women trained to become queens. Yet none of them had ever reached the place within him that this quiet girl touched without effort. When their eyes met, the world faded. Adaugo's laughter grew distant. Jewels blurred. Even the queen's approving gaze disappeared from his awareness. Only Ifunanya remained, still, steady, rooted like an ancient tree. And in that moment, he knew. There was no other choice. The courtyard fell into heavy silence as Princess Ezenwa stepped forward. Everyone expected him to walk toward Adaugo. She stood radiant beneath the sun, her jeweled gown shimmering like a field of stars. Her smile was confident, certain, but the prince did not slow.
He walked past glitter, past the expectations of an entire kingdom, straight toward the quiet girl standing at the edge of the courtyard. Confusion rippled through the crowd. Where is he going? That girl? Surely not. Adaugo's smile began to fade.
No, that's impossible.
Prince Ezenwa stopped before Ifunanya. Gasps swept through the courtyard. For years, the villagers had ignored her, feared her silence. Now, every eye in the kingdom was fixed upon her. The prince slowly extended his hand. Ifunanya stood perfectly still. Her calm eyes met his without fear. Adaugo's voice suddenly cut through the silence.
This is ridiculous! She is mute!
Her words echoed across the courtyard, and for a moment, everyone believed them. Then, Ifunanya lifted her head. For the first time in her life, her lips parted, and when she spoke, her voice rang through the courtyard like silver bells carried on the wind. Clear, melodious, beautiful beyond belief.
Yet when the season comes, the seed chosen for greatness shall rise as it was written.
The world froze. The girl they had called cursed, the girl they had silenced, had just spoken with a voice more beautiful than any they had ever heard. Then the great seer stepped forward through the crowd. Her white hair shimmered in the sunlight.
I spoke these words long ago. Men will bow to what glitters and pass by what is true. Yet when the season comes, the seed chosen for greatness shall rise as it was written.
Courtyard fell into stunned silence. Adaugo slowly sank to her knees, tears of humiliation burning down her cheeks. The queen lowered her gaze, the truth finally settling in her heart. Beauty alone does not fulfill destiny. Ifunanya stepped forward. The quiet girl they had overlooked all her life now stood at the center of the kingdom's gaze. Sunlight spread across the courtyard stones, and in that moment, one truth became clear to all. The season had come, and the seed chosen for greatness had risen exactly as it was written. Around her, the villagers slowly bowed their heads in shame. For years, they had mocked the quiet girl, feared her, and turned their backs on her. Yet she had been the chosen one all along. Among the crowd stood Obinna, tears streaming quietly down his face. All those years he had protected her when others called her cursed. Now the entire kingdom finally saw what he had always known. His daughter was never a curse. She was a blessing. Nearby, Amarachi stood frozen, her pride shattered, unable to speak, and Adaugo, once the pride of the village, remained on her knees, her jeweled gown trembling as the weight of truth settled upon her. Not all that glitters is gold. Prince Ezenwa gently took Ifunanya's hand. One by one, the people of the courtyard bowed, not to beauty, not to wealth, but to the quiet strength they had once ignored. Then the palace gate slowly opened, golden light spilling across the path before them, and as the kingdom welcomed its future queen, the words of the prophecy echoed one final time in every heart. The seed chosen for greatness shall rise as it was written.